Hey, everybody, welcome back inside the Force. Coming at you from the land and the sea. Hannah is a little choppy on your service a little bit, but I can hear you clear. How's it going? How you doing tonight?
It's going great. Yes, I'm working on one of the ships now, and it's a blast, as you know. Like you've been on Disney
Yes.
on Disney Cruise Line, so it's a blast. But yes, it is still work. We are working.
Yes, we are. You are working, and yes, we're hooked on the cruises big time. So we got another one booked next summer. I think we might even try to get one in sometime in spring break. I mean, it's just like my wife and kids are hooked, and I think a little bit of that's because, we've been to Disney World a lot, and and right now Disney World's going through some changes. They're upgrading, and so it's like it's a good time to like maybe catch some cruises and then after a couple of years go back to Disney World and see all new stuff. So it's actually perfect timing, so we can try to catch up on some of the new ships coming out and go back on some of the older ships that we haven't. We've only done one older ship, the Dream, and then we did one new ship, the Wish. So, and then we're going on a newer ship next summer. So it's like, we gotta try. I hear like the original two, I think, are the Magic and the Wonder. I think those are the two original ones. Yeah,
they are.
I've read some people talk about how they still really love the original ships. So I'm
you hear a lot about that.
Yeah, so I do want to try those out. So anyway, yeah, Hannah's out in the middle somewhere, so we'll try to talk about some Star Wars before we lose her.
Yes.
All right, so thanks everybody for joining us, as well as of course thanks to our patrons as always for sticking with us and supporting us. It's been a crazy fun ride this year, of course, with Hannah, changing jobs and all kinds of stuff happening at my company, Wrigley, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. But we're still here trying to talk Star Wars, even though there's not a lot of Star Wars to talk about. So
there soon will be. I have the feeling, Dave. There's going to be an onslaught at some point. Like, I know we have stuff to look forward to, but I can't help but feel like there's just going to be this onslaught of information that'll come all at once.
I agree with you. I do agree with you on that. I do agree with you. But the thing I think I saw some articles come out today. I think Empire Magazine put an article about obviously starting to promote The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is the next film coming out in May. Still no word yet on Shadow Lord, the Maul series that's coming out. Ahsoka 2, I think, wrapped fully, so probably getting that next year. So yeah, there's definitely things to talk about here shortly. Let's see. On our last episode, a couple comments I wanted to kind of go through here.
Yes.
So we did talk about visions on our last episode. We went through that whole thing. Let's see. Cyber Ren, our buddy Cyber Ren. Let's see. Bear with me. This is a long comment.
Oh, no. What did you do?
He said, and here's what makes us great sister podcasts in a trio of hosts. We have similar enough opinions on many topics, but also very different ones at times, which makes for good discussions. So your discussion about bringing back dead characters and what it is and what is believable, I will stand on the other side of the Force wall for that one. For me, Asajj Ventress coming back is way more acceptable story-wise than Darth Maul. Here's my reasoning. Asajj wasn't dead very long. Quinlan was taking her back to the hospital at first as she was still alive when he found her, but she died along the way, so they went to her planet to place her in the waters there. So she wasn't gone long, and that allows there still to be some kind of life force, spirit, soul, whatever you want to believe in, that her witch sisters can still reach and bring her back to give her new breath and wake her up again. It's all very mystical and spiritual with those witches, but the magic makes it believable. Whereas with Maul, he got cut in half and tossed into the near bottomless pit. Who knows what he hit on the way down? Who knows how far he fell? Who knows the damage of the impact of hitting the bottom? And who knows how long he was down there? does a lot of damage, bleeding out, etc. You can say the lightsaber immediately cauterized the wound, but being cut in half, I don't think it would have worked like that. In the fall, someone would have had found him pretty dang fast and rushed him to the hospital and get those droid implants on him to save him. That is more far-fetched to me than Asajj's story. Just my take. But not to say I don't love both of them being back in the stories that we get with them being back. Asajj is always, Maul does die once and for all eventually. I think though for the point about does it take away from the meaning of their deaths if they come back? Well, it always depends on the character, how they died, how they come back, and what purposes after reviving. I think with Asajj, her story is so powerful. And now that it can continue, there's more they can add to it. What happens when she finds Voss and sees he sees that she's alive. She was told she can't follow her heart. So what will she do? That's intriguing to me. We saw the full context, the full extent of Maul's story, which is pretty cool too. But Kylo coming back, man, that's a big discussion. We saw his body disappear Yoda and Obi-Wan style, like Jedi do to join the Force. I don't see how you can come back from that. But I like where you were going with the whole World Between Worlds and the fan trailer we saw. Big take there.
Big take. And I mean, I do agree with that to a point. But I still think even if a character has a good reason for coming back, I don't know. Sometimes I guess maybe like Cyber makes an excellent point where it depends on the context, I guess, right?
Sure.
Like it's all about the context. Because they can have a good reason, but if it's a Deus Machina surprise, they're here, then that's not satisfying. If there's no good reason for them to come back and they come back, then that's not satisfying. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I get that too. But I think, I do disagree with him on Asajj was dead. Like it wasn't like she was like almost, she was just dead like an hour. I mean, it takes a long time to travel in the Star Wars galaxy. I mean, she was dead.
She was dead.
So,
Maul, I don't know if he was dead. You just see him have this surprised face, and I'm sure he's in shock as he falls. Luke fell dead. Luke jumped down a similar shaft.
Right.
And he survived thanks to the Force. Darth Maul could have all of a sudden snapped out of shock and,
Yeah, and people can survive, losing half their body, right? I mean, there's still people that are alive without half their body. So
it actually might be beneficial that happened with a lightsaber because then he's not going to bleed to death.
Correct. So he's not bleeding out, and he has power of the dark side. Like he can prolong his life. I mean, that's what happened. That's how they kind of explained it in Clone Wars, that he the Force, the dark side, it just, the fuel of the hatred for Obi-Wan kind of kept him alive, so he didn't. That's the thing. I don't think he died. I don't think Maul ever actually died, but I mean, He didn't die, obviously. I mean, he didn't die. No one brought him back to life like the Night Sisters did. Now, if you can look back into some interviews too, like George Lucas even said, he wanted, his intention though at first, he had Obi-Wan cut him in half because he wanted to clearly show that he got killed.
Yes.
Never knowing that the fact that when he started doing Clone Wars, he was like, you know what? Actually, let's bring Maul back because he didn't die, So he even went back on his own intention of Maul being dead, but then brought him back. And then ultimately, there's some things going on. There's things coming out now too, because the anniversary of Lucasfilm selling to Disney just happened. And I think it was the 22nd anniversary or something like that. 22nd anniversary. Because it was like 2013, I think, when they sold, and now it's 2025 anyway. But there were some, people started releasing some things like, here's, George's 7, 8, 9 that he was planning, and he was planning on bringing Maul back even then as the antagonist of that trilogy. So So Maul's a very special character. I agree with you. Either way, bringing back people, you know, it is. I think it is dependent on what you do with them beyond that. If they, you know, have a story more to tell,
right?
You know, how impactful that can be to, you know, to the rest of the characters. And I think, you know, it does make more sense in the kind of in the Force side of it, that those are the characters that can come back, you know.
Right.
So we agree with you, Cyberwind, in some cases, some aspects.
Some.
Yeah. All right, and then Thrawn, of course, responding to Visions. He says Visions season 3 was hit and miss for him. All visually interesting to look at, but some stories were weaker than others. Episodes 1, 3, and 4, and 8 were my favorites. Episode 4 with the droid helping the girl escape from the Jedi Hunters was great. Really felt for the droid, and only took 20 minutes or less for me to feel for that character. The last episode, I had no idea what I was watching. Thanks again to you both, and for all you do, and may the Force be with you. So he felt the same way as us on that last one, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, let me check Patreon. I don't know if there was any comments on there. I don't think so. On our last episode. Okay, no, there. Okay, so not a lot. Obviously, not a lot going on. I did start. Wait. Sorry, go ahead.
Since we're about to move on from comments, I do want to give a little shout out to somebody. Yes. I really hope I'm saying your name right and I remembered it correctly. Apreja, thank you so much for becoming a new listener of the podcast. I ran into her while riding Star Wars, and I didn't bring them with me. I'll wear them next time. I got these Mickey ears, that celebrate the 45th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. You see those ears? You, of course, need to buy them. Just saying. So in line at Star Tours, she complimented my ears, and I saw she was wearing Rebel Alliance earrings. And it was like, oh, I love your earrings. And she and I just started talking about Star Wars. And I brought up the Inside the Force podcast. And she immediately, right there on her phone, found us and started, and she subscribed to us. And then I also just want to say, once again, congratulations on getting your doctorate. That's a huge accomplishment. Wow. And the other people in her group, somebody else got if I remember correctly, somebody else got their doctorate. Somebody else was in the middle of studying for their doctorate, and someone else had a birthday. So they were celebrating a lot at Disney. But just once again, congratulations and welcome to the Inside of the Force group.
Yes. The Inside the Force family. Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for that, Hannah. That was great. Congrats on celebrating and a doctorate. Jeez, yeah, that's huge.
No, I was like, you look way too young to have a doctorate right now. It made me feel I even was like, I don't think I deserve to be on the same ship as you guys. I'm gonna leave.
Oh, funny. Oh, that's great. So welcome. Thank you for joining and listening. Hope you like the content, and any comments are welcome. Anything you want to mention to us, please. Our YouTube channel is probably our best place to do that, or on or anywhere actually you listen to the podcast.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm very early in this, but I did start listening to Master of Evil. Okay. So what was your what? I got your text the other day about.
Yeah. What did I tell? I'm like, Dave, what is this?
You said, what is this? Yeah. I'm too early to say that yet, but what would you how far are you in this thing?
I don't remember. Am I half? Oh, I'm using my phone. I can't tell. I think I'm about halfway.
Okay. So you're way further along than I am on this. I'm very early on. This is obviously the new novel that just came out by Adam Christopher. So yeah, we'll talk about it soon. But I wanted to let everybody know that's what we're into right now. You're going faster than I am, but I'll be behind you on get through. Hopefully, I can get through it based on what you're saying. But
based on travel. I've been doing a lot of traveling recently, so I've had time to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're busy doing a million other things, so
was that that was like kind of like a I don't know what I'm listening to type of.
But yes, but in a good way.
Okay, all right.
At first I'm like, oh, this is where the story's going, because about that whole prologue bit.
Yes.
Or prelude, whatever you want to call it, that whole bit. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where this is going. And now I'm like, what? What is happening? But in a good way. It pulls you in.
That's good. I'm very intrigued by that text from you, so I'm looking forward to more.
I thought you were further along than me, so I'm really glad I didn't spoil anything. But I'm just like,
yeah. But I've read some reviews, and they've kind of said the same thing as you did. So obviously a lot longer comment, but
and I'm sure when I get to the end it'll make sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense or it's confusing. I'm just like, where are we going with this?
Yes, I agree with you. Because as far as I know, I think it spans over some period of time, I believe.
It does. And there are they're not technically flashbacks, but there's found footage or found holograms of things that have happened. So yes. it does technically cover a huge span of time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. More to come on that. We'll definitely dive into that, especially do a behind the saga on that one. Beyond the saga. And I said beyond the saga. Okay. Other than that, let's see. The one bit of news that I thought was interesting. Are you familiar with Star Wars Insider, the magazine?
Yes. I haven't read one in a while, but yes, I'm familiar.
So it is a magazine. For those of you who don't really know this, it is a magazine that started, I think it said 1987, when it was the Lucasfilm Fan Club.
Oh, okay.
So Lucasfilm Fan Club had a magazine that they put out, and then after about, I want to say it was what did it say? I think it said about 20 issues or so. They changed the name in 1994 to Star Wars Insider, which was it was number 23. It was the premiere issue, Star Wars Insider. So it's been going since 1994 as Star Wars Insider, started in 87. It's not a, I think it's not a monthly thing, or I think it's more like every other month, or it's like seasonal. It's not really so there's only been 200, there's been a little over 200 issues now, but it is coming to an end next year. They are closing out the series. Issue 237 will be, there are 2 issues they say coming out in 2026, and those will be the final 2 episodes, or I keep saying episodes, issues. So in the end, there'll be 237 issues of Star Wars magazine. And during the 90s, I was actually, I would buy those on the newsstand, and I would read them because, when the prequels are coming out, they did articles about them and stuff like that. So, so it was a pretty big staple, but unfortunately, as everybody knows, magazines aren't really the thing anymore. So I'm actually surprised D23 still has the magazines that I get from them.
Yeah.
But anyway, really cool. I mean, the thing about Star Wars Insider is not only is it news articles, but for a while there too, there's a lot of canon stories now that are written in there, short stories and stuff like that. So
okay,
yeah, so especially with the new canon and when Lucasfilm Disney took over, they started publishing a lot of. There's some High Republic, short stories in there. There's some Rogue Squadron stories in there, things like that. So, not everybody can obviously get it because not everybody bought the magazine or whatever, read it, but they were in there.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, if you're a collector or Star Wars Insider, it's coming to an end. Okay. Let's see. Other than that, the comics, there's still some rolling out, a little bit of comics here and there. This week, there's Jedi Knights number 9 is continuing. Next week, Boba Fett has his black, white, and red version of that number 3, and then Legacy of Vader number 11 on December 3rd. Han Solo December 10th. Jedi Knights number 10 on the 17th. Star Wars number 8 is on Christmas Eve. And then Boba Fett number 4 at the end of December. So a few comics coming out the rest of the year. Not a lot of comics on the horizon that I can see right now, but still pumping out the those titles right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about Maul, Shadow Lord, sometime coming out in 26 as well. Yeah, so that's really the stuff that's happening. I will say today, which is pretty crazy, that we're recording this on November 17th. Today is actually Life Day. Happy Life Day, Hannah.
Happy Life Day, Dave. Happy Life Day, everybody.
Yeah, so I wanted to just mention that, which is kind of crazy. Life Day is not, I wouldn't say it's a massive holiday that Star Wars fans really recognize, right?
Right.
I didn't see it. I didn't see nothing on social today, really looking at social. I just saw it on StarWars.com's website today that they have the front page. They have, Happy Life Day. So anyway, for everybody that doesn't really know what Life Day is, Life Day was introduced in 1978 with the Star Wars Holiday Special that aired, which the infamous holiday special, right?
You mean the one all of us have to acknowledge but try to forget?
Yes. It's one of those like cult classics now, right?
Yes.
And in the holiday special, which aired on November 17th, 1978, the main Star Wars cast, it was the actual original characters, right? Han and Leia and Luke, they travel to Kashyyyk and visit Chewie's family, and they are celebrating Life Day. If you see the pictures where they're wearing these red robes and they got these like clear globes, they're celebrating Life Day. Basically, Life Day is exactly what that is. It's a celebration of family, a celebration of values. It's celebrating that in the time of turmoil that we could all kind of put everything aside and be together and it's celebrating life. That's what it really is. It's Life Day. So it's a really good thing. We should probably embrace it more as Star Wars fans and celebrate it and acknowledge it a little bit more. You can do it without having to watch the holiday special. No need to watch the holiday special. But it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. I don't know, Hannah, you work for the company. Do you see Life Day stuff at all around there? Or do they talk about Life Day at all?
I work for the brand, don't speak for the brand.
Yeah.
Opinions are mine and mine alone. You actually, at times, I don't know if it's the entire time, but I have seen articles of this. So this wasn't told to me. I read this online. Especially on Jollywood nights, you can see Chewie in his Life Day garb.
Oh, yes.
And
cool.
then at some point they gave away Life Day mug. You saw my Life Day mug at work. My sister got that for me before, like when I was working at Wrigley. So they had that. Otherwise, like, but I'll be honest, I haven't really kept an eye out for that stuff, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, oh yeah, we totally have that. I don't know. I don't keep an eye out for that. I'm too busy enjoying a Ronto wrap and riding Rise and Smugglers. I'm not looking at merch.
Yeah, no, and look, I get alerts when the parks and Star Wars they tweet out stuff, and today I really didn't. I mean, maybe I just haven't looked hard enough, but I didn't see anything, and I don't think Galaxy's Edge doesn't look like they're doing anything, So, but it is a cool thing if you go to StarWars.com, you can kind of read about what Life Day is, and I mean, here's a brief, just kind of going to read what's in the data bank on StarWars.com. Basically, it says a long-standing Wookiee tradition, Life Day celebrates the values and tenets of Wookiee culture, including family, joy, and harmony. While Life Day is a celebration traditionally held at the Tree of Life on Kashyyyk and observed by extended Wookiee families, Wookiees throughout the galaxy still mark the day. When Wookiees were enslaved by the Empire, the holiday took an even greater significance. Today, people from planets across the galaxy have embraced this tradition and made it their own by celebrating with festive decor, twinkling string lights, unique food and drinks, music, and activities. People share the hopes of celebrating freedom, harmony, and peace, no matter how different people may appear. At the end of the day, everyone gathers to sing songs and be reminded of their dedication, courage, and love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life.
That's sweet. So it just needs to have a kingdom.
Exactly, right? I was just thinking of that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is Life Day. Happy Life Day, everybody out there celebrating. If you're celebrating, you can, of course, you don't have to just have Life Day on November 17th. Always celebrate Life Day, right?
Every day is Life Day.
Every day is Life Day. But Wookiees, speaking of, they have a, I don't know who sells it. I'm assuming it's a Lucas thing, but there's a, have you seen this? You can buy a 7-foot Chewbacca holiday animatronic. He's wearing like a Santa hat. Have you seen this?
I'm sorry, I love Star Wars, but what?
Yes.
What?
Yes, and no, my daughter, Eliza loves Chewbacca. Still loves Chewbacca.
Eliza will be scared of that.
Oh, she wants this thing so bad.
She does.
I can't do it. I can't do it. But
I already have an issue with the idea of, and I don't have this, but having a full outfit of a stormtrooper, like having the full outfit. Like what you have.
Like I have.
To me, I would be so terrified that someone would sneak into my house and hide in that and wait for me to come home. And all of a sudden I'm being attacked by a stormtrooper.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to, it's kind of at the edge of my frame here. I don't know if people can see it anymore, but it used to be in my shot all the time. I couldn't, I used to have it in like this other corner. So like when you came into the room, it still freaked me out every time. So I had to put it to where I can see it all the way down from, down inside the room from the other room. So yeah, for that reason, you're right. It's kind of freaky to have that.
I mean, it's cool, but in the dark, it looks like somebody.
I know. It's tough. It's tough. And animatronic, like if people want to look it up, I think the Wookiee thing, it moves and like makes sounds and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that one. I don't know if I can.
You know what? To each their own. If you would love that, go at it. Go at it.
I know Eliza would. My daughter. Okay. So anyway, so happy Life Day, everybody. I think the last thing I wanted to kind of bring up is I was telling Hannah that these next few episodes, as we get to closing out the year, I wanted to kind of dive into talking about Rebels, similar to we talked about the Clone Wars for a little while, you know, kind of revisit that series as we're waiting for new series to come for us to enjoy. So I don't really, you know, I don't want to deep dive into now, but I think the one thing I wanted to kind of just bring up on here, I was curious for you to mention this, Hannah, is if, you know, it's been a while for me too. I haven't watched Rebels in a while. I've seen it several times, so, you know, there's definitely episodes that are fresh in my head. What I kind of is just curious, since you know, haven't thought about it maybe in a while, or just think, but what do you when you look back briefly on the entire series, like what do you take away from that series most? Like what do you remember most about that series?
For me, and like it's actually really funny that we're talking about this on Life Day, but like, and we've talked on the show a lot about how Star Wars, one of the core center, or one of the cornerstones of Star Wars is family and the Power family. I don't think I truly connected that dot until Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rebels was when I was like, oh, wait, Star Wars is about family. And I'm not just talking about the fact that, you know, Kanan and Hera are married. Like, I'm not even just talking about that. It's just all of a sudden it hit. This is about family, and family is who you choose, not your blood. So it just was, that's what I remember. My first reaction watching Rebels was that. And also Rebels is the first Star Wars TV show that Zach and I watched together. So that was the other thing.
Zach, your husband. People don't know who Zach is.
Zach, my husband. So that's what sticks out to me with Rebels. Is like, I feel like if you didn't think family was part of Star Wars, now you absolutely do.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point, because, you know, I think Lucas, George Lucas especially, I think Lucas, you got to think back too, right? If we set the stage right, Star Wars Rebels is the first piece of content that came out after the Disney purchase.
That is also true.
Right? So, you know, Clone Wars was ending, or Clone Wars was on, and then the buyout happened and they decided they're not going to produce Clone Wars anymore. So then a couple years later, all of a sudden Star Wars Rebels debuts. And so you're right. I think what's interesting to think about is, you know, George, you know, he created obviously the Skywalker family, right? That was what Star Wars was based on, the Luke and Leia and their father, and then ultimately doing the prequels and talking about the mother and the fall of Anakin and stuff like that. So you had this sense of family. He had always kind of had this sense of family. But I got to say, you know, when you look back at like all of his interviews and things he talked about, like he never really mentioned. He talked about the Skywalker family, but he never really mentioned Star Wars as family. But he believed it for sure, and and hope. It was always hope and family, right? And that's what he had instilled into Dave Filoni when they started doing the Clone Wars. And it was Filoni, I felt like, that, you know, when you hear him talk as they were kind of developing Rebels, he did mention those things. Like I could, now that he had the reins and Lucas was out of it, he's like, I need to continue what Lucas insisted on instilling in Star Wars, which is family, which is hope. So you're right. I think, you know, that is interesting to think of, even though you can kind of look at Clone Wars and say, okay, there's a family aspect there with Anakin and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, but they all kind of had their own kind of storylines going on, you know, and right. But Rebels, I mean, it's these rebels together, and they were together through it all. And you're right. I mean, it was the first real kind of family that wasn't blood that told the story of what was happening during that time. And I think that's what really drew I mean, it was a home run series to start with for Disney. And I remember what I remember most too. I mean, I didn't think of it that way, but that is definitely a huge aspect of it. But what I remember most was being blown away that, you know, the thing started out, when you think of Star Wars Rebels, you think of this, you know, a band of rebels trying to defy the Empire and fight this war. I never anticipated them going so far into Jedi lore.
That's about it, is the lore. The lore.
I mean, bringing Ahsoka back, Maul back, doing the Mortis gods.
Oh,
you know, I mean, just
World Between Worlds.
Yeah, World Between Worlds. I mean, I never dreamed. Then of course, then you throw in the fact that they brought Thrawn into canon. You know, it's like, I mean, it was just, there's so many good things that happened. But you're right. I think the family aspect of it was really what made that show so successful, and still does. I mean, we're still following these characters.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. In live action now. So I think it's pretty amazing how popular that series was. It was fantastic. When you go back and when you do go back and watch some of these episodes, you're like, wow, this is actually a really good series. So
I can't wait to go back and rewatch. I can't wait.
So we'll talk more about Rebels in the next few episodes, and kind of talk like we did with Clone Wars, you know, talk about different characters, different story arcs, the things that you should, if you haven't experienced it, the things that you should experience when you watch it, and the kind of the significance of it. I mean, it's really playing out huge in these upcoming series and what's happening with Ahsoka. And I mean, just, you know, the impact that it had during that time period with the rebellion and things like that. I mean, there's some key takeaways from that. I mean, you can kind of look back, just one brief thing. If everybody can remember in Star Wars in Rogue One, when they were attacking Scarif, and the rebels mentioned, "Hey, I need those what they called Hammerhead, the Hammerhead ships that they used to, because when that Star Destroyer got knocked out, you know, they knocked out its controls. They used the Hammerhead ship. I can't remember what they called it, but anyway, they used it to push it into the other Star Destroyer. Well, that was an episode in Rebels when they stole those ships.
Yep.
I mean,
it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. So cool.
Oh, Leia's also in it. Senator Organa are also in Rebels.
That's right. Mon Mothma does her speech. Her actual speech when she runs away from, the Senate. She performs that speech on Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. So we will do more of that in the coming weeks as we, again, wait for some new content to come out.
Indeed.
Yes. So thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Dave. Anything
else you want to talk about before you get off here?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're out in the sea. I'm here on land in very cold Kentucky right now. It's not very warm here right now.
Sorry.
Fall got skipped and we're going right to winter.
It's hot.
Yeah. I don't even want to hear that. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. As always, thanks to our patrons. As always, if you're interested in joining that, go to patreon.com/InsideTheForce. Of course, give us a subscribe on YouTube if you want to watch our content there. But of course, if you're just listening to us, we're on all the podcast feeds. Subscribe to your favorite one there and get us there. Hannah, I appreciate you always, even when you're on a ship, to get back to me and get on the show.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you and allowing me to continue doing this with you.
Of course, of course. Take care, everybody. Go have a great Celebrate Life Day. It doesn't matter. Celebrate Life Day if you missed it today. And go watch some Rebels and get ready for us to talk more about that in the coming weeks. Hannah, take care. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. May the Force be with you.